You know, whenever I do a blog about someone like Richard Gere, I get a lot of response to the blog saying, great, but why don't you tell us about somebody who you actually think is really good and really talented? And much as I do think that Richard Gere can be really good and really talented, it's true, he's inconsistent. So, let me talk to you this week about Isabelle Huppert. And there's no better time because right now, Isabelle Huppert has not one, but two movies in the cinema. One of them, a video Amalia, the other one, White Material. Now, Huppert's a very interesting case, incredibly intense actress. I think made her first film in 1970, won an award at Cannes in 1978 for Violetta, then was famously in Heaven's Gate, which I don't care how many times people tell me that film is brilliant in the director's cut. I've seen it a couple of times. I've never liked it in any cut whatsoever. Went on to play Madame Bovary in Claude Chabrol's film with that name, and then her defining performance in The Piano Teacher, known variously around Europe as The Piano Player, which is an incredibly sort of intense performance. It's masochistic, it's painful, it's brave. It's one of those roles that very few people would actually dare go some of the places that that movie goes. It's a Michael Haneke film, so you know from the beginning that you're going to get something quite extraordinary, but what really holds it together is the intensity of Isabelle Huppert's performance. And that made me think about what is it about the way that Isabelle Huppert acts on screen that is quite so powerful.
Je te quitte, c'est fini. Quoi? Nous allons nous quitter. Je veux tout quitter. Je veux couper. Je veux éteindre ma vie d'avant. Je vends mon appartement. Pas de portable. Pas d'adresse email. Pas de carte bleue.
Et tu vas aller où? Dans l'espace?
Je reviendrai.
Well, to answer that question, if you look at the two movies that she has in cinemas at the moment, it makes for very interesting viewing. Villa Amalia is essentially Shirley Valentine with A-levels. It's the story of a woman who realises that the person whom she's with is a cheating louse, and she abandons him, abandons her home, abandons her past life, sheds all her identity and goes off on a voyage of discovery, ending up at the eponymous Villa Amalia. And during the course of it, the camera spends an awful lot of time simply in the company of Isabelle Huppert looking at her face. And when I was reviewing it on Radio 5 and I was trying to explain to Simon Mayo what it was about her face that was so extraordinary, I said, she looks like somebody who has looked long into the void. And he said, what, you mean she looks old? I said, no, not old. Somebody who looks like they've looked death in the face. And what's extraordinary is that she can convey so much with so little expression. She's not somebody who does great big facial acting like, I have to say, Muriel Strepsil in recent performances. She's somebody for whom less is more. Just the tiniest twitch, the smallest inflection, the most unnoticeable move seems to signify so much.
J'ai du travail à proposer, il faut finir la récolte de café. C'est tranquille chez moi, il n'y a jamais eu d'ennui. Hein. Mais qu'est-ce que vous faites? Vous allez où, là?
C'est pas bon de rester. Pourquoi tu ne veux pas écouter?
Bah, attendez, je vous demande juste une semaine. Sinon, le café sera foutu.
Madame Vielle, l'armée française s'en va, nous allons partir.
Ah, tout d'un coup, c'est plus possible de rester ici? Ça devient trop dangereux?
Tu comprends vraiment pas ce qui se passe?
Bah si, je comprends que vous vous laissez intimider.
Faut passer ces $100.
Écoute, tu joues pas ce petit jeu avec moi, tu sais très bien qui je suis.
Tu payes pas, je t'éclate ta tête.
But then I saw White Material, the new film from director Claire Denis. Now, Claire Denis is very interesting. She directed a movie a while ago, which I programmed at a horror season, called Trouble Every Day, which is a sort of real-life vampire cannibal story that's really shriekingly edgy. And in White Material, Isabelle Huppert plays a white plantation owner in an unnamed French-speaking African country which is on the verge of chaos. You're reminded of things like Hotel Rwanda or shooting dogs, people in an area which is about to descend into real violence. Everyone's leaving, everyone's getting out, but her character, for whatever reason, is staying put. And as I was watching the film with my newfound theory of here's the face, that a tiny movement will tell you everything you need to know about what's going on behind the mask, I suddenly realised that what was interesting about White Material was I had no idea what was going on behind it. In fact, the character she was playing was strangely blank, was strangely impenetrable, was not revealing her inner emotions at all. And then I started to think, you know, maybe the real genius of Isabelle Huppert's acting is this. It can't be reduced to some glib, lovely, pithy, repeatable phrase by a smug film critic. And you know why? Because it's proper acting, that's why.